Hi my love, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to yet another video. If you're a new subscriber, you're welcome. If you're an old one, thank you for sticking with me, and if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please do like this video and share this video to someone that you think this video will be of help. And without further ado, let's learn how to make a basic bodice. So the first thing I do is to rule out my starting point line. So you could go ahead and do the same on your own pattern paper. So I'll also do it like both horizontal and vertical. I'll just rule a straight line. This line will enable us to get an accurate body measurement. So as you see me doing in this video, go ahead and do the same for yours. So the next thing I'm going to do is to impute my body measurement. So I start off with marking my chest line. So in order to get your chest line, in order to, create your armhole curve, divide your bust circumference by 6 and add 1.5. This is quite easy for you to get your, chest point. So at this point, that's what I did. I divided my bust measurement by 6 and add 1.5 to it, and that's how I came up with 8.3. The next thing I marked was my bust point and also my waist and hip measurement. So the length of this paper is 23, so I'm using everything because I want to create a basic body that you can either use as a blouse or as a top. But while we go on, you will understand what I mean. So I'll go ahead and rule the lines as you can see me doing on this video. So go ahead and rule your lines, your chest point, your underbust, your waistline and your hip line. If you don't know how to get your perfect body measurement, or you don't understand what we are doing right now, please watch my previous video. There I shared with you guys how you can get an accurate body measurement, how you can take your body measurement. So with that video, you understand what we are taking in this video. So moving on, I'll just go ahead and label all these measurements like my bust point, my underbust, my waistline, my hip line. I'll go ahead and take my neck measurements. At this point, I'm going to go in with the neckline of 3 inches, put the depth and the width of my neck. So you also can mark out 3 inches as you can see me doing on this video from that starting point line. Mark out 3 inch and 3 inch from the depth. So I curve like so. So you could go ahead and curve if you have a curved ruler. But if you don't have a curved ruler, you can use your hand to curve that part. It's as simple as that. So the next measurement I'm going to take is my shoulder measurement, and my shoulder measurement is 16 inches. So I'm going to divide that shoulder by 2. So that was what I, put down here. So I also put that same measurement that I have for my shoulder measurement on my chest point. I'm going to mark that line like so. So go ahead and do the same for your own, pattern paper. So just go ahead and arrange that part. So the next measurement I'm going to take is our shoulder slope. So this shoulder slope, because the shoulder is not straight, that's why we take this measurement. So you can go ahead and take your shoulder slope. So I go in by 1 inch and also curve like so to the neck line. So just do the same thing to yours. Then the remaining measurement that I have, I will divide it by 2 and also notch at that end. So go ahead and divide whatever measurement you have there by 2 and mark a point there as you can see me doing on that video. And I'm going to go in by 1/2 inch. So go ahead and do the same for yours. Go in by 1/2 inch, then connect from that 1/2 inch distance to your shoulder depth like so. And this is to enable us have a perfect armhole curve. So the next thing I did was to put my bust circumference. So with the measurement you have on your bust, divide it by 4 and put it there. The reason why I always like to put my bust measurement is to get where the curve sits for my armhole curve. So afterwards, I'll just curve like so. So this is just the perfect way to get your armhole curve. So go ahead and do the same for yours and curve from that bust point line to the point where we have our ½ inch. So just do the same for yours, like so. So this is what you're gonna come out with. So make sure you take your time to get it right. So the next thing we're going to do is to impute our nipple point. So go ahead and take a distance from your nipple, from one nipple to other. Mine is 4 inches. So I'll just go in and put 4 inches. So whatever you have on your own nipple point, just place it on your bust point, your under bust, and your hip line. So go ahead and place whatever you have on your as your nipple point there and mark a straight line like you see me doing in this video. So the next measurement I'm going to take, or we're going to take, is 1 inch of our bust point. This will enable our bust, give it some fullness. So also do the same thing on the hip line. So if you are on the smaller bust, you can also take a straight line from there and leave that 1 inch. So the next line I'm going to take there is ½ inch from the waistline and ½ inch from both sides of the waistline and connect, as you can see me doing on this video. This is so easy, so just take your time. You can do this. So just follow along as you can see me doing in this video, and I promise you will come at a better result for your basic bodies. You can as well go back in order to watch and understand better. So just go back and watch again to understand. I assure you that you will come at a better result. So the next measurement I'm going to take in now is our body circumference. So I'm gonna put in our body circumference, which I already did with the bust measurement. So I'm going to put my waist measurement and also my hip measurement. So my waist measurement is 8.5. I'll just place 8.5 there, as you can see me doing in this video. So this 1 inch that we took off, I'm going to also place it back. I'm going to put back that 1 inch that we took off. So any measurement allowance that you took off, we're going to put it back. So go ahead and put back your 1 inch, and the next measurement was the hip, and I connect like so. So what I'm going to do now is to connect from that bust point to my waist line, and from my waist line to my hip line. So this is just how you're going to do that. So you see the way I connect it, just go ahead and do the same. And like I said, if you don't have a ruler, you can as well use your hand and get a straight line, or you can even mark a dot till you get that straight curve. Okay, so the next measurement I took in was my allowance. So I went in by 1 inch allowance. So that depends on how many inches that you want. You can go in by 1.5, you can do 2 inches, or either way you can do 3 inches, depend on the one you want. So go ahead and connect your markings and curve your hip lines, and follow along as you can see in this video. So this is what we have, guys. So the next thing that we're going to do is to take our allowance for the shoulder, the neck, and the armhole area. So I'm going in with ½ inch for those lines. So also do the same for yours, depending on the allowance that you need in order to join your shoulder lines together and put on the slant like so, as you can see in this video. So like I said, I'm going in with ½ inch on my neck depth, and on my neck width I'm going to connect like so. So depending on the allowance that you can sew in your fabric width, go in with that allowance and mark like so. I'm gonna do the same thing to the armhole side. I'm going in with ½ inch. I'll go ahead and mark those lines. As you can see, there's ½ inch already there. I'm going to mark in ½ inch from where my bust line started, and I'm going to do the same thing with the allowance. I'm going to go in with my curve ruler to curve those lines in. So follow along and just do the same. You will definitely arrive with the same result, guys. So that's just it for this part. So at this point, you're almost getting to the end of those front bodies. The next part that we're going to take in is, I'm going to go ahead and take my side dart. And the reason why we do take these darts is because the back and the front are not of the same size. So what you're gonna do is whatever measurement you have from your shoulder to your waist in the front and the back, just minus the bigger side from the smaller size, and whatever number you have, that's the dart you're going to take. For mine is 2 inches, and that's what I took off from that part of my bodies. So go ahead and do the same. So this part I'm showing you guys is the part that we're going to cut off from this pattern. So at this point we are literally done with the front bodies. So I'm just trying to cut everything out. So go ahead and cut yours as you see me do in this video. So this is what we have, guys. So at this point I'm going to try to highlight this pattern for you so you understand what we mean. And why I'm always like I'm doing these parts is because I want to show you guys that the other parts that we didn't do this is the parts that we have our allowance, and I wrote cut on fold, which is quite wrong, guys. You're going to cut fold and not unfold. And I'm going to label my pattern as my front bodice pattern. So go ahead and label your pattern, and if you're making it for a particular size, you can also put down the size that you're making on your pattern in order not to be confused. So let's move down to the back pattern. So I've gone into mark out my lines like we did in the front pattern. So go ahead and do the same. So this other line that I'm taking in is 1 inch, and this is for my zip allowance. Whichever allowance that you want to take, if it's 1.5 or ½ inch, just go ahead and take it and mark like so, as you can see me doing in this video. So go ahead and do the same for your own pattern paper. And at this point, guys, if you've watched to this point and you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please to like this video and share this video to someone that you think that this video will be of help, and let's help grow this channel, guys. So the next measurement I'm going to mark in is my chest line. I'm going to mark in my chest line, and like we did for the front, I took in 8.3, and I'm going to do the same to this pattern. So go ahead and take your own measurement and put there. The next thing I'm going to do is to put my waist measurement, and my waist measurement for the back is 16 inches, whereas my front is 18 inches. So like we did in the front, just do to the back. It's just that the back is a bit shorter, and that's why we have that on the side. So what I'm gonna do is from that hip line, I'm gonna mark in 5 inch because that's what the measurement I have from my front hip line is to the back. And I'm gonna just go in and also put my allowance. I'm going to mark like we did in the front. I'll just mark those lines like so. So go ahead and connect your own lines from your waistline, your hip line, the allowance you have there, just connect it like you see me doing in this video. So please, another thing is we should neglect the other stuff showing at the back of my pattern. I'm going to use marker to differentiate those things so you don't get confused with the numbers that you're seeing at the back of the paper. So the next thing I'm going to do is to put my shoulder measurement, and my shoulder measurement is 8 inches. I'm going to mark it down like so, and I did the same like we did to the front. I marked 8 inches there and 8 inches to the chest line, and also connects like you see in this video. So the next thing I also did was to connect with 8.3, which I did. And the next thing I'm going to put in is my neck width of 3 inches. And at this time, we're not going to go in with the depth of 3 inches. We're going to go in the depth of 1.5. So just go ahead and input your neck width and your neck depth. So that's what I did in this video. So most people go in with 1 inch, but I prefer to do 1.5. So you could choose to do 1 inch, or you can follow me along and do 1.5. So this is just how you curve and also connect that line together with your zip allowance. So at this point, I'm just going to go in and take my shoulders slant. So I'm going to go in like we did in the front, 1 inch, and also connect like so. So go ahead and do the same for your own pattern paper. So afterwards, I'm going to, divide like we did in the front. I'm going to divide what we have, the rest of what we have, by 2, and, create a point by the midpoint. And from that point, I'm going to go in by 1/2 inch. And from that 1/2 inch, I'm going to also, connect like so. And at this point, I'm going to go in taking in my, vertical measurements. But first, let's put our dart measurement. And in order to get your back dart measurement, the best way to do it is to, like you see me putting my tape, measure like 9 or 10 inches from that end, and that will be where your dart is going to start. And from that end, you also take out 1 inch from your hip area and mark out like we did in the front, and also connect your dart like the 4-inch dart that you have. So mark the 4-inch dart like from that 10-inch that you created now down to your hip area and connect like so. So I'm just going to go in and connect this line like so. So after connecting this, just go ahead and do the same. Just connect your line like so. So I also use this ruler to make a mark on that end where the dart line is going to start, so you understand what I'm trying to say. So this dart line that we're going to start is 10 inches from the shoulder line to that point. So from my waist, I'm going to go in with 1/2 inch from both sides of that line that will mark. So go ahead and just connect that 1/2 inch. So like we did to the front, I'm going to connect like so. So just go ahead and do the same on your own pattern paper. Connect that 1/2 inch to that line that the new that line that we created, 10, which is 10 inches. Connect it like so. So like I told you guys, you remove 1 inch like we did in the front from the hip line. Just take off 1 inch and connect like so. So this is how you create your darts. So now I'm going to go into, put my body measurement. So like we did to the front, I'm going to also do to the back. I'm going to take in my bust circumference, divide by 4, and I'm going to place it on that end and mark like so. So with these points, I can easily connect the lines together. But first, let's get this measurement. So the next measurement I'm going to take in is my waist measurement, and I'm going to do my waist measurement divided by 4, and the dart that we took off, which is 1 inch, I'm going to add it back to the waist line, which is what I just did now. So I'm going to take in my hip measurement, divide by 4, and I'm going to connect like so. And also do it on the allowance, the down allowance. I'm going to join everything together. So go ahead and join yours together. So I'm going to use my ruler to, connect this lines like so. So go ahead and do the same. And the cuff area to, cover at my waist to my hip, since that place is not straight. But you can also use your hand if you don't have ruler. So all of us are going to arrive at the same result. So at this point, I'm going to just curve these parts in like you see me doing in this video. So just go ahead and do the same for your own pattern paper. So at this point, what we're going to do is to go in from that waist line. From our zip allowance, I'm going to go in by ½ inch. This is to enable us, avoid bulges. So I'm going to just mark in. I'll go inward by ½ inch. And from where my zip starts, I also go inward by ½ inch. And I'm going to connect these two lines to the end of my, hip side, and I'll still do the same thing to the other side. So at this point, we are trying to eliminate bulge. So go ahead and do the same for your own pattern paper. Just follow along as you can see me doing in this video. Just connect it to that neck line and also connect the last one to where your zip allowance starts from the neck point. So at this point, we have, take off that line that sort of when you wear your dress, it's as if there's something hanging at that part. So this is the best way to take it off. So the next thing I'm going to do at this point is to mark out those lines that we don't need. So as you can see me describing here, I'm trying to show you guys that this part of the line, we're not working with it, we're not working with that part. So this line that we took off, we're going to place it back to the waist line side. So this is me trying to place that ½ inch that we took off from that end. We're going to bring it back, and I'm going to curve back that line to my hip like so, and also connect the line to my arm side like so. So just go ahead and do as you see me doing in this video. So at this point, we're almost done with our back pattern. The next thing we're going to do is to put in our allowance on the sides like we did to the front. We're going to do to the back. So I'm going to, by the side, I'm going to put 1 inch by the side. Then by the armhole, the neck depth, I'm going to go in with half. The shoulder slant, I'm going to go in with half. And I've also go in with ½ inch for the down part of my, pattern. So just go ahead and do the same as you can see me doing in this video. So afterwards, I'm going to just connect everything that I've marked from that end, from the shoulder, and also from the armhole side. I'll just connect the lines like we did to the front. So just watch and follow along. I will advise you not to just watch this video, but also to, put in the practice. Like as you see me doing in this video, just pick up your paper, or if you have a piece of fabric that you want to practice on, you can just, pick it up and mark out all those things and sew along. That will enable you to be, good at making this. So don't just watch the video and stay calm and just be like, oh, I'm going to grab it up like that. As you're watching this video, please try to put in the practice, because in this channel, I'm not just only teaching you, I want you to be good at what you do. So just, go ahead and do the same. So like I said, I'm going to just go in with 1 inch for my side allowance. So just go ahead and put the allowance that you want. If you want like 1 inch, you can go ahead and put it. If you want ½ inch, you can go ahead and put it. That means you're going to sew in with that exact allowance that you're putting. And if you want like 2 inch, you can go ahead and put that and curve like you see me doing in this video. So the next thing I'm going to do is to connect those lines like you see me doing in this video. Just sorry that that part is not, clearer to you guys, but I'm just trying to join from that hip point to the allowance that I have. So I'm going to also do the same thing to my armhole sides. I've already marked out my half inch from that line. I'm going to connect with a straight line like you see me doing in this video. And the next thing I'm going to do is to curve that line like so. So go ahead and do the same for your own pattern. And like I said earlier, even if you don't have a curved ruler, you can also curve with your hand. You also arrive with the same result. You just have to take your time. You can also dot it. So at this point, I'm going to use this marker to differentiate the pattern. So the place where I marked is where my body measurement is, and the place that I didn't really mark is my allowance, and this is going to be filled in, and that's why I'm using that cut off sign. So I'll just go ahead and label my pattern. So I'm trying to label this pattern, and I'm gonna say cut. Don't mind what I wrote, guys, but this is going to be cut on fold, and this is the back pattern. So like I said in the front pattern, if this was like for a particular pattern size, you can just indicate that. So this is me trying to correct that fold on fold that I wrote in the front pattern. So just go ahead. I hope you don't do the same mistake like I did. This is the one that will be cut on fold. So that's just it. So this is what our front and back pattern is looking. So this is something I want to show you guys. I've already marked that line. So if you are cutting it off for a gown or a dress, this is where you cut off from the waistline, and this back part you're going to slant it like so. So you also have to cut from that part and also add half inch for the joining allowance. But if it's for a blouse, you can just cut this like so. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.